Okay, we're going to move from the hunting and domestic dogs issue to one that is, just a little bit controversial, something called MNLARS, MNLARS. I think we've read about that in the papers. You surely have heard it firsthand. It was interesting, I thought, to see the governor meeting with bipartisan legislators with him to talk about MNLARS. But the question from this viewer in Appleton, who is going to suffer for the $100 million expense? That's their question, and that's what they assert.
Well, all of us taxpayers are going to suffer, because that's what it was. That $100 million that we spent, I wouldn't say it's all wasted, but a great majority of it is gone. This is going to cost us another 80-some thousand or $80-some million to get done. But I actually voted not to give one more. I've set it off, and I wasn't going to give one more nickel until we found out whether this thing could actually be done right. And I think we had an independent audit come in and take a look at it. They said you're better off going with somebody from the outside to bring something in and modify it for Minnesota's way we do business. And I was a little skeptical that somebody could take, because we did this at the beginning of this legislative session, and I was a little skeptical that somebody could come in, take a look at it, and actually give us a report by the 1st of May that was actually going to be giving us something worthwhile. Okay. And but it came in that they recommended we go outside. Somebody would like to see us recoup that, but it was state employees that were trying to build this function. Well, you're not going to go back to these state employees and get those dollars. You're not going to fire those state employees. So it's money that we spent. It's gone.
I just hope we learn something as a legislature, because this system and a lot of the state agencies' computer systems are very complex, and there are many data points. I mean, I don't know how many thousand data points in this particular one, but I think before the next, say, the new vendor takes a look at it, I think there will be an effort to say, do we need all of these permutations, all these unique laws that make such a, each request, each type of license, each type of look-see through the system. Do we need it like that? Could we make it very much simpler? So I think that's a step that should have happened probably the first time and did not. But I hope we've learned, and there's better ways to do things.
Senator Carlson, as we follow up on this, is it now, and I'm not sure I understand the full measure of what's going, are they buying something off the shelf, so to speak?
That's what I'm under the impression, is that the technology has advanced. This actually started in 2008, I believe it was.
Yes.
And it really was a large investment at the time. And Hewlett-Packard was the original vendor. And there were lots of errors and lots of misconceptions and even some misleading reports on it. And they were fired. They were fired back in, I believe it was 2014. I think it wasn't 12, because I wasn't in office in 12.
It was 14.
But and little is known about this, but there was actually an immunity that was signed, so we can't go back after them. And so.
But I'm understanding that the first package, the phase that they developed, I asked at committee hearing if did it work? Is it in place? And it's still in use.
Yep.
So it was being developed over time and in different stages. So what they did is apparently still okay.
Representative Hansen?
Yeah.
Well, with 10 years on this, the question is who bears the consequence, and as Senator Howe said, we all have.
Us.
Everybody has. We've paid for this, and we're now the third governor, multiple legislatures. That it is one of the most frustrating things all of us, I think, have had. I think that and we need to apologize to Minnesotans.
Absolutely.
This was a disaster. But and I am, we've turned the corner so many times. We've had a complete circle. So I'm cautious. I think that we are cautious but hopeful, and I think the other piece here is, in that 10 years, what's happened? Just think of our use of technology over those 10 years, and I think you're going to see more changes of how do we get our licenses. The piece that we haven't talked about are deputy registers. I have deputy registrars in my district. How do we provide service? What do we provide? And that is going to take a while. I mean, this is still, this is a decision. I'm pleased that it was a quick, a deliberative decision based on input, and now we have to implement that decision, and that is going to take time and money.
The people that are in the business now of providing some of that programming, and when you say it's off the shelf, the backbone is off the shelf, but they have to modify that to whatever state is buying it. So there's a lot of modification that's got to happen. But the companies that actually are offering this today weren't in business when we first went out for requests for proposals. So now, when we fired HP, there was a different option, but we chose not to go out for an RFP, a request for proposals, and that was probably a mistake when that happened. But you live and learn, and hopefully like Representative Rumbeck said, hopefully we have learned, because this was a costly mistake, and we all bear the brunt.